In December 1989, in the city of Târgoviște, located 70 kilometers from Bucharest, he was executed. Romanian President Nicolae Ceausescu, who ruled the country since 1965. So who executed this prominent figure, who had successfully held on to power for the previous 24 years? 1965. So who executed this prominent figure? No one other than his old friend. Successfully holding power for the past 24 years. None other than indeed his old friend. Victor Stănculescu. 17th night, on the night of the 16th to the 17th of December, suppressed anti-government protests in the city of Timișoara. A week later, Stănculescu found himself the Minister of Defense. The new revolutionary government and personally organized the execution of his overlord. How did it happen that the experienced Ceausescu "24 years at the highest level of power, and before that almost 30 years. In the communist movement, from the rank-and-file activist to the Politburo party member, he failed to see the conspiracy, literally right under his nose. Why didn't he take the standard actions typical in such situations? He didn't scapegoat the protesters, didn't announce a new course. He didn't clean out half of his inner circle. What stopped him? This outstanding politician needed to protect his power, and along with it, his life. To answer this question, let's take a look at some circumstances from the last years of Ceausescu's rule. In the 1970s, Romania, which had some oil reserves, benefited significantly from the energy crisis that erupted. A flood of oil dollars and Western loans poured into the country. However, by the early 80s, it became clear that the loans received for oil were not beneficial. They are exhausted, and there's nothing to give them. The oil being extracted is not enough, and the country doesn't produce any other competitively priced goods on the world market. Ceausescu faced a choice: either make political concessions or tighten the belts. The first option for a politician. For 15 years, who did not recognize anyone's authority over him. Ceausescu found the first option unacceptable and decided to focus on repaying Western loans. A rationing system was introduced in the country. Everything that could be sent was exported, and for 6 years, from 1983 to 1989, small Romania completely paid off over 10 billion in foreign debt. For this outstanding external success, Ceausescu paid with a loss of popularity within the country. Disappointed by empty store shelves and meager rations. With ration cards and strict electricity conservation, Romanians began to call their country Ceausescu's land. The loss of popularity itself isn't very dangerous for a politician. It can always be lifted back up, if there is a will. But starting from the mid-80s, there was a change in the environment. Gorbachev indeed came to power in the USSR and essentially found himself dismantling the global socialist system. In replacement, they didn't find anyone to replace Ceausescu. Both Washington and Moscow were indeed more interested in a more obedient politician. This was already a serious threat, and Ceausescu had to respond to it appropriately. But it was here that a true enemy revealed himself. The vassals of Ceausescu, as well as of all other monarchs, constantly competed with each other in the best flattery of their sovereign, and gradually they formed a very real cult of personality in the country. Of course, the falsity of their praises was obvious to any outside observer. Water erodes a stone. A drop of water wears away a stone, and by the mid-80s, the aging Ceausescu genuinely believed that he was truly the beloved father of the nation. There was suspicion for years.